Hey, Cameron Kaseberg is my guest on the show today. And Cameron, I wanted to, before we went to the break and during the break, I was talking about your artwork is unique. It's solvent transfer, is that right?
That's right.
Okay, what is that exactly? I mean, for somebody who doesn't have any knowledge, I know what the final product looks like, but...
Solvent transfer is, it's basically a process of moving images from one surface to another using solvents. There's lots of different transfer processes. This one uses solvents to release inks and toners from one page, and then they're transferred to another.
Okay.
So my work is actually built by layering transfer on top of transfer on top of transfer. Anywhere from, some pieces are a single transfer, but some will result in 20 or 30 different transfers to create a final image.
So you're just layering those on top of each other, basically?
Yes, I lay the background down, and sometimes the background itself will take 10 or 15 transfers to build it the way I want it, and then I start building images on top of that, and those images come from photographs that I've taken. So I may have 3 or 4 different photographs that I end up transferring onto the same piece of art to create a completely new image.
Okay. How long does something like, I mean, obviously size, if it's huge, it's going to probably take longer, I would assume, but how long does a normal, your like best-selling type stuff, what kind of time is invested?
It's really hard to gauge that because right now I've had a piece in my head for a couple weeks that's just kind of moving along, and when it's time, it'll hit the paper.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of time spent in just thinking about them. And the actual process can be anywhere from a half hour to 4 or 5 hours. And then some of them just kind of pop out of the process.
Uh-huh.
So it really varies. The time can be nothing to a long time.
To a long time.
Yeah.
And every single one of them is totally done. I mean, nothing is done by a machine or anything. You do hands-on on every piece.
Every piece is one-of-a-kind original. There's no reproductions at this point. I am starting to look at maybe a line of note cards and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But right now, everything is one-of-a-kind original.
That's cool. And when you're putting this together, like when you're creating one of your pieces of art, do you always have the vision already in your head of what you want it to be, or does it sort of morph into stuff that's not exactly as you saw it in your head?
More often than not, it morphs.
Okay.
I mean, I always start with a vision, whether it's a vision of what the background's going to be or a general theme. The crows and blackbirds and ravens kind of sprung out of thin air.
Really?
I was going through my image library looking for photographs that I might want to work with, and I found a bunch of shots I took of crows and blackbirds, and I just started playing with them, and that's kind of become a major part of what I'm doing right now, the birds and the trees.
Yeah, because I've seen that as a common theme in a lot of your work, but it was kind of by accident. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh.
Or accident or
Access
meant to be.
meant to be. Well, what kind of stuff are you? What can we look for from you? What are some of the new big shows you have coming up, or what are your plans?
The newest stuff I'm working on is still the birds and the trees, but I am working with clayboard now, which is a hard wood surface that's coated in clay. And so I'm doing the transfers on that. So these pieces are not framed behind glass. They're right there in front of you.
Are they very like three-dimensional almost? Or a lot of texture?
They're blocks. No, they're very smooth, but
okay.
but the image itself has lots of texture because the transfers actually go onto the transfer to the surface in a completely different way than paper. Paper's more absorbent.
So this is actually transferring directly onto the clay.
Onto the clay.
Okay.
So I've only shown those once so far at a gallery in Bend. So I'll do another gallery show in Bend, and then I'm going to have a bunch of them, and they'll hit the road with me late this summer when we go to Eugene and Salem and Bend and Sun River and Bellevue, Washington.
So you got a full travel
schedule. It's going to be a busy
full
summer.
dance card.
Yes.
What do you think? Where do you think things will be? I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 years from now. What kind of art do you think you'll still be doing the solvent transfers, or you think something else?
That's hard to say. I've been playing with solvent transfer since college.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I signed up for a drawing class that I had to take. I wasn't excited about taking it, and I was expecting to be drawing, a vase with a flower in it or something, and instead he handed us the Sunday paper, solvents, and some print and said, look what this does.
Really?
And I've been playing with it ever since. So it's evolved from the Sunday comics in that class to what I'm doing today, which is totally different than any other solvent transfer artist I've seen. So if I've been doing it that long, I'm kind of thinking I'll probably be doing it in 4 or 5 years.
Just keep reinventing it and changing it. And
hopefully I'll be in galleries up and down the West Coast, and probably still be doing art festivals.
Cool. Well, Cameron, we're out of time already, but I really appreciate you coming on, and it was good to catch up a little bit and just kind of find out firsthand some of the things you've been up to.
Well, thank you very much.
All right.
I've enjoyed
good
it.
to see you. All right. Everybody, thanks for watching. We will see you next time right here on Localite. John Compton here saying thanks again for watching. And remember, if you've got a guest idea, let us know. Just visit localite.com.